Hey yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Royalty, and I'm just finna take out a couple of minutes, probably about 15, 20 minutes to just pump through some stocks real quick. Let you guys know what I see, what I like, what I don't like, what I do like. If you like them, go ahead and ride the wave with me. We can see what's popping in the market going into next week. I hope everybody can make a little bit of money off of it. So let's go ahead and tap in. If you're new to the channel, definitely go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, give your boy some support, so we can get pushed up in the algorithm just a little bit. But as of right now, we do have SPY pulled up. So SPY's been marching, bro. It's just been pumping 720 all the way up to right now where it is at 733. We are approaching a bit of a overbought range right now. Above 733, as you can see, we're starting to reject. If we go in a little deeper, we're starting to reject at that 733, and it's moving back, moving back down toward the 731 for a bit. But overall, this golden zone right here is that's gonna be a magnet for price action, even going into next week, as long as we hold above the 729 zone. This is a high volume, high liquidity area. Prices like to magnetize, as you're gonna see when I go through a couple of more tickers. Price likes to get drawn towards these golden zones that I have drawn out on my charts. But like I said, if we pump past the 733, just be careful this week. We've had a magnificent upside move so far, so you don't want to keep pumping money into it when the move has already been presenting itself. Yeah, you want to follow the trend, but you don't want to follow and hop in the very tip top for that particular day or that week. You feel me? So right now, like I said, SPY's looking pretty dope. It does have some more room to march to the upside, but we just gonna have to monitor it, see how it plays out, and see how soon until we get up here towards the 735 to 740 range. So SPY looks pretty dope. Qs are already kind of leading the way. It's a little stronger right now than SPY. So tech's been really moving, especially with AMD and everything. Bro, AMD just been I almost said it. AMD's been a powerhouse. It's been a powerhouse from $200 to $400 in a span of what, a month. That's crazy work. But the money had to flow somewhere. The money had to flow somewhere. I think Nvidia's getting ready to flow next. We're gonna hop into that after I, finish breaking down the Qs. But I think it's gonna be some profit taking at AMD pretty soon, and some of that money is gonna flow into Nvidia. That's just my belief, my thought. But we gonna see. I can't predict the future. I just play what the charts show me. So as of right now, like I said, Q's are already kind of in a overbought territory above 687, but it's been using it as a springboard. Back up to 694. As you can see, it's already kind of like what we just saw on SPYs. It's rejecting a little bit at 694, but that doesn't mean that it can't continue to move up. It obviously can. It loves this golden zone right here, and it doesn't really just get oversold until we just get up here, let's say around like 717 for the month. And this is just the beginning of the month, so we got plenty of time. We do have a gap fill down here that's still open, but that doesn't mean much. It has been leaving gaps unfilled behind whenever it gaps and goes like this. So let's keep that in mind, the gap down here. But let's not also be too paranoid to where we just miss the money on the upside, because there are a couple of stocks even after earnings that went down, but still is in a very decent range to buy and to go long when some of the profit taking starts in certain parts of the market and these other stocks starts to push. That way, it's kind of a controlled up and down movement for the SPYs and the Qs, so it doesn't just completely flush a pump too quickly. You feel me? So that's SPY, that's Q. They both are doing pretty well. Qs are kind of leading a little bit, so let's keep that in mind that tech is leading the way. I had spoke on AMD. Tesla's still doing good. I'm gonna get on that too. That was one of our trades from the day. AMD has been an absolute powerhouse. Powerhouse. You feel me? From April all the way up to now, it's just been moving numbers, outperforming Nvidia and just yeah. But you know, all things do come to an end. We saw that with gold and silver and precious metals. We saw that with oil and gas, to where it's just significantly pumping its way up to the upside. I said that I thought the top was in for AMD back when it pushed up to around 365. I still think anything over 365 is still overvalued for this year. But with earnings popping out, it gave it a juice pack, and it's been absolutely moving up to the highest was 432. So it still can push up a little bit higher, maybe 440. We'll see. But anything above 440, just I already think this is just extremely too high. I think prices will have to come back and retest 365 eventually. But just anything above this 435 zone, I think it'll be easily to short back to the downside. Like I said, these charts love this golden zone. That's where a lot of volume and liquidity pops in at. And the price action just eats it up. Either it's gonna reject real hard, or it's just gonna completely squeeze once it gets to these zones. But as far as AMD, I just think it's completely overvalued at the moment. Not saying that it can't go higher, but I just wouldn't be completely sold on putting more money into AMD at these levels. And if I say oversold, I mean it's completely overbought right here. So, and that's to follow what's up going to Nvidia next. Nvidia was one of my alerts. It's been an alert every day this week on calls. Some days it didn't work out because we stalled right here below 197. But as you can see today, we're pushing 207. My alert was 215 calls. So right now above this 206 level, this is where these staircases are finna start taking place. 206.50, and then we could see a squeeze just popping up 211, 214, 217. Overall, I want to see the prices get pulled up here to this golden zone between 222 and 228. So let's say 220 to 230 is where we want to see that out the money options contract actually pump into. We do have earnings coming up, so that's in about a week and a half. But right now, we've gotten out of this sideways level right here. I wouldn't be mad if we came back to 204, retested it, keep turning this into support for the next move up. But we go back right here, this 208, that's just been resistance. That's our last real support zone. So right now it's retesting it as resistance. So if we zoom in on there, you see how we getting small rejects popping back down to this 206.51 level. Anywhere back in this green though, like I said, I think prices should get bought back up. And then heading into earnings, like I said, these staircases in the yellow, those should be bought up fairly quickly with the right type, with the right amount of volume. So keep your eyes on Nvidia. I think money's gonna eventually start flowing into that. I wouldn't be mad if it gapped up, even if we sold off and it gapped back up. Let's see a gap and go that's gonna make us move back up here and give us the green light to just really go long, because we have a gap right here that hasn't been filled above 217. So watch that. You gotta put the pieces of the puzzle together. You feel me? We got green down here. We got a nice little consolidation right here, which was bought back up. We want to use this 205, 206, 205 as a springboard. And once it breaks out above 208, we want to see a nice squeeze up to go ahead and fill this gap above 217, 218. Now, the thing is, once it fills the gap, you want it to gap up above this supply level right here. You want to see a gap up above here and create new influx of buyers above what's considered support. I mean, resistance. That's gonna grant us that access to go ahead and start pushing to this golden zone, break this little uptrend right here, and we can start marching our way on up right into earnings territory. 250. I know it seems crazy, but that's what the chart is saying right now. If everything plays out in the right manner and we can flip this resistance back into support right here, we can be just right, right in the early stages of the pre-ER run up and get this thing, before they start, just juicing up contracts on Nvidia. Now, if it doesn't happen that way and we just sell back off because the market is a bit overbought, if we do flush back down, do have some areas back down here at between 194 and 191 that could be pivotal for us. Anything below here, like I said, we're still in the green. This just could be a sell off, people getting in cheap before the earnings presents itself, shoot its way back up into this 205 level, and then carry on from there. But it's so many scenarios. That's why playing earnings is always a gamble, because you never really just know how things are gonna just play itself out. But if you have the scenario kind of already mapped out in your head, and it just comes from watching charts, watching the same thing happen over and over again, then you can see, all right, it's either gonna squeeze its way on up pre-ER run. You seen we traded sideways, we broke out. Now we're facing this resistance right here, or it's gonna drag itself down. ER comes around, it pops its way back up to this old zone right here, and then we start marching on from there. So big things for Nvidia. Like I said, I think when the market needs Nvidia the most, Nvidia is gonna show up. It's gonna show up. So a couple of other stocks that I'm heavy on is Tesla. We took Tesla 415 calls today, and that's just out the money, cheap. We want to get a little pop, and we got that. We enter right here above 390, and we took exits on 20%. As you can see, it's doing pretty good. We have seen some resistance above 406 and then right at 406.28. And we're trying to retest those levels. So if we just really wanted to go in the money, I could have took them down to the 400 or the 402 strike prices. Well, not 402. I would have did 405 or 400 calls. But we just did 415 just to get a little money for today, load up on some cheap calls, and ride them up into the pop, get nice 30%, 20% on the move to the upside. So it's still looking pretty dope. If we zoom out, check it out. Over here shows where we see a lot of consolidation at. So this is kind of a hot zone, whether it was straight into the upside, it used that as a springboard up, or if it broke down below it, then it actually sold off below that. So this is an area that you really want to watch. It's a concentrated area, but overall, like I said, I like my golden zones. 418 to 427 will be my hot zones, and then even if we go higher than that, I mean, we got potential to go up to about 450 on Tesla. I like Tesla. I actually do. So it's going to be crazy if we actually see this thing move, but it's still a buy for me going into the rest of the month, depending on what we see. Meta is also a nice one. Yeah, we got the ER move. It flushed it, but we still have some nice green support areas down here. You see how we rejected right here. So even if we come down and retest this, I think it's support levels are all clustered up here and here, all right here. So we're just gonna see how that retest is out. It's still early in the month, bro. We can still push up to 655, where you see we had a lot of traffic here back in March. Had a lot of traffic right there, and then a lot of traffic in between here leading up to earning. So 700 is still attainable for Meta. It just needs the right type of volume, and the market is going to have to present the opportunity for it to actually start, making its way up. But Don't lose hope on Meta right now. Still bullish as long as it stay above 575. And you're just gonna have to time it right. Go out, go long out. It's still consolidating, so we don't really know when the move's gonna happen. You just have to be prepared. So, going out to the end of May with a options contract 655, that gives you the opportunity to go in the money. You don't want to go too far out, but if it does break out this 655 and create some support right here, that's when you can create a 700 or a 710 or even a 715, 720 strike price out the money on Meta. And I think I had one more. Microsoft. Yeah. So Microsoft has been pretty dope. Also, earnings came around. It didn't really give it the move that it wanted to give it. It kind of pinned the prices. Went to 440, came back down, came to 400, went back up. So I'm still a fan of Microsoft. A lot of traffic here. We've seen a lot of traffic here. So we're just gonna continue to see how prices are gonna react between 400 and 393 if we happen to retest those zones. If so, then we could see prices start flowing this way back up to 440, and above 440 is where the liquidity should happen. You see how fast it happened over here? It came down, dropped, and it flushed after that. So if we see a squeeze coming back up and it gets back within this golden range, that's going to be super, super nice for the price action. It's going to get its way up here. If it holds pretty well, then we looking at 469 or 470 this month. So keep your eyes peeled for these tickers that I'm pointing out to you guys. Like I said, SPY Qs for the week, they're kind of overbought. I like Meta, which that's what we just looked at. If you're gonna go long, it needs to be long enough for it to withstand it, and it has to be close enough in the money. 640, honestly, if I'm looking at it, you want to see at least a retest of this resistance zone over here. So 640 would be the safest if you're going out the money with some time on the expiration date. Tesla looks good, looks pretty dope. Okay. AMD, as I said, it's overbought. You don't want to go too heavy in the AMD calls. We could see 440, but we could also see some money start flowing out of AMD and into NVIDIA. And then NVIDIA. Like I said, we want to see 206 to 205 become support. We want to squeeze past this resistance zone right here at 208. Once we get up here and get in this 211, that's going to be our hot zone. And that's going to pull us up, to get this fill up here around 717 to 718. And that's going to be a nice move to the upside. So Amazon's moving nicely. One thing about Amazon, one thing about stop losses. So today I took Amazon, I signaled 280s. And we took on a breakout of 275, the highs. That's about right here where we got in at, and we saw a brief move to the upside. That was, let's see, market open was here at 8:30. So we was looking for this breakout right here for a retest up here, like 270, right, pretty much where it is right now, and maybe retest these highs up here. But the thing was, we took the entries, it faked us out, stop losses hit, and it retested around 272. It retested down here at 11 around 272, and it bounced its way back up, and now it's making a move. Sometimes in this market, with it being so chopped, you can set tight stop losses. Mine's normally between 15 to 25%. And if it just doesn't hit, doesn't mean that it's not going to work. It's just giving you a better opportunity. And sometimes if you don't use the stop losses, but you holding, that contract goes 50%. I talked about this using an options chart. If it goes below 35 cents, the price action has to work just as much harder for it to make you some money. So sometimes just taking that little small loss, getting back on a re-entry on a push back up, is sometimes the best move. You get your money back and you get a nice little runner on the way back up. So I just wanted to speak on that because sometimes, we do take bad entries on the breakouts, and stop losses are triggered. It's a part of the game. But for the most part, you got to trade safely. You got to have a game plan. Um, and you got to know when to cut your losses sometimes. You feel me? So those are the ones that I just want to keep eyes on. Palantir doesn't look too good right now. As you can see right now, it's starting to dip. Big red zone, and it's been getting absolutely demolished over the past week, 2 weeks, just all of May, pretty much. So it's headed back down to the downside. We have seen some support, a lot of support retest here between 128 and 125. So this would be the area of interest that I watch for. Just be careful that it doesn't give out beyond here and it flushes us down to 117. So not too bullish on Palantir just yet. We're just gonna have to monitor it, see how it does. But I'm gonna clock it out here. We looked at a couple of stocks. I didn't want to get too much on the bearish side. I wanted to focus on what has potential to move up a little bit more since the market has been pumping. But I hope everybody's been making money on the right side, not the wrong side. So stay tapped in with your boy. Like I said, if you watched the video, I only kept you for about 20 minutes, like I said I would. Make sure you like, subscribe, give your boy some support. We're gonna keep pushing out, nice little TA sessions when we can. So it's your boy Royalty Trades. I hope y'all enjoyed the little TA content, and I'll catch y'all guys later. Peace.